where unrelenting outward chaos perpetually jeopardizes our inner tranquility. Stoicism shines as a light of ageless wisdom, bringing us through life's storms with steadfast calm. This age-old philosophy offers compelling reasons for us to exercise self-control and reflection, not as a dogmatic doctrine, but as a way of life that aims to connect our actions with a firm commitment to virtue and self-control rather than the frantic chase of acceptance from others. These 9 arguments, which are derived from the core of Stoicism, implore us to carefully contemplate the wisdom of exposing ourselves to the cosmos that lies inside us rather than the outer world. First, the value of quiet. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once said, "Speak only when your words are stronger than silence." This maxim instantly takes us to his thoughts. This insightful comment challenges us to consider the power of what is decided to be unsaid rather than what is spoken. That decision has a very potent quality to it, one that goes beyond simple word choice and captures the spirit of communication at its core. For a brief time, picture the following scene: a sea of words, sounds, and noises that often amount to little more than background cacophony. And then there is quiet, a potentially productive place rather than an empty void. There's a special chance to listen when there's quiet. But when we pause to listen to quiet, what precisely do we hear? The response takes us on an introspective trip. We are urged to listen in silence, not just to what others do not say, but also to the nearly imperceptible whispers of our own inner wisdom, that quiet voice that carries deep truths about our true selves and priorities, that is sometimes obscured by the chaos of the day. Seneca's wisdom shows us that genuine eloquence comes from knowing when and what to say while speaking, rather than from using a lot of words. The actual power is in this decision, in this distinction between speech and quiet. We choose to listen, ponder, and finally comprehend when we choose quiet. However, why is this so potent? Because stillness makes room for us. There should be room for meditation, contemplation, and mental journeys to destinations that speech alone could never take us. When we are silent, our brains may detach from the outside world and focus inward, exploring the enormous reaches of our own awareness. Now consider how this practice affects our day-to-day existence. Silence might seem illogical, even rebellious, in a culture that encourages frequent speech and fast information flow. However, the secret to more genuine, profound, and meaningful communication lies in this act. We make sure that our communication conveys truth and meaning in addition to information by speaking only when it is required to break the silence. So, how can we apply this effective approach to our daily lives? Making the deliberate decision to appreciate our words enough to avoid squandering them is the first step. It entails developing a sense of ease with quiet and seeing it as a chance to communicate with something more profound rather than just the lack of sound. Above all, it is realizing that sometimes the most effective action we can do is to just listen. So how about we try something out? Let's make an effort to give stillness the room it needs in our lives, even if it's just for a little while. When we finally allow ourselves to listen, who knows what pearls of knowledge we could hear. The second quality is self-sufficiency. We discover a priceless gem in quiet on our voyage through the cosmos of words and contemplation. Age-old knowledge that speaks across the ages with the elegance of the silent. Speak only when your words are stronger than silence. This nugget of knowledge, which seems as if it came from Seneca himself, illuminates the way to a more profound comprehension of the strength that lies in the restraint of our words. But what does this adage really tell us? Silence arises not as only the absence of sound, but rather as an inner sanctuary, a hallowed place where the voice of our innermost knowledge may finally be heard in a world where ceaseless noise and the deluge of information threaten to drown our essence. Accepting stillness gives our words more weight, a resonance that comes from importance rather than quantity. Silence allows us to properly hear what is being said between the lines of other people's discussions, as well as the subtle whispers of our own inner selves, information that is latent and ready to awaken at the perfect time. Delving further into this contemplative investigation, we come upon the idea of self-sufficiency, a virtue that Epicurus, with his unmatched wisdom, tells us is the foundation of real pleasure and liberation. However, what does being self-sufficient really mean? It goes beyond just not relying on other people to make you happy and satisfied. It is an interior journey, a process of self-discovery, where we learn to build a satisfaction that is unwavering, impervious to the shifting views and circumstances of the outside world. We build an inner fortress, a type of armor that shields us from criticism, as well as the desire to be seduced by praise. By reducing our exposure to other people's opinions, we are a ship that is well anchored and can withstand the worst storms without going off course when we are in this condition of fortitude. Therefore, achieving self-sufficiency is a celebration of our capacity to discover within ourselves what we need to have a complete and meaningful life, rather than a lonely path. We are prompted to consider the meaning of life by fusing the lessons of the virtue of self-sufficiency with the power of silence. These thoughts are not only exercises for the mind, rather, they are calls to a deep metamorphosis in which we value our ability to listen and comprehend more than our ability to speak. Take a seat in this hallowed area of reflection and quiet. Along with discovering who we are, we also find the way to a life of greater meaning, independence, and genuine happiness. I'd like to invite you to join me on this voyage of self-discovery, where every step we take in quiet and every independent moment helps us get a deeper knowledge of who we are and what really important. May this road provide us the strength to be genuinely free, not only from chains that are outside of us, but also from ones we impose on ourselves. The third is the importance of self-control. As we continue to delve into the depths of Stoic knowledge, we come upon a priceless pearl, the self-control principle. It's not what happens to us, but our reaction to what happens that matters. This adage, which reverberates through the ages, succinctly captures the spirit of self-control, demonstrating it as more than simply a competency, but as a transforming force that has the ability to influence our future. As we explore this area of self-awareness, we come to see that genuine mastery is not about being in charge of outside forces, but about learning to manage how we respond to them. There are storms, setbacks, obstacles, and provocations all around us, but by practicing self-control, we become adept at building an imperceptible wall that keeps out obstacles, as well as our own impetuous desires. Reducing our exposure to outside stimuli doesn't imply ignoring life's abundance or retreating from it. Rather, it means being more deliberate and careful about the things we let impact us. By doing this, we start the process of improving our replies, transforming impulsive snaps into deliberate, well-thought-out answers. Every decision-making moment becomes a chance to exercise moderation, to take a deep breath and choose an action that is consistent with our core beliefs and the kind of person we want to be. We may achieve internal equilibrium via this self-control exercise, which enables us to respond calmly and resolutely to life's ups and downs. Self-control teaches us to dance with life, to move gracefully between extremes, and to find pleasure and serenity, not in the absence of obstacles, but in our capacity to face them head-on with integrity and knowledge. It goes beyond just controlling our impulsive impulses. In this setting, lessons on the virtue of self-sufficiency and the power of quiet become interconnected, with self-control emerging as a crucial connection. It serves as a link that enables us to smoothly and harmoniously go from internal knowledge to outward manifestation. By developing self-control, we become not only masters of our own lives, but also role models for everyone around us, proving that we can choose peace even in the face of provocations and calmness even amid storms. Let us, then, be motivated to consider our own responses and decisions by this self-control concept. Let it inspire us to look inside for the fortitude to change not just how we react to the world, but also how we live in it. And may we learn along the way that genuine freedom is found not in being able to control everything around us, but rather in being able to manage ourselves and make the right decisions that bring us peace of mind and personal development. The wisdom of introspection comes in forth. One individual, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, stands out in the fabric of Stoic philosophy, not just for his imperial power, but also for the depth of his insight. His suggestion to go inside ourselves for serenity is not just advice. It is an invitation to set out on one of the greatest journeys of humankind, the path of introspection. Looking inward is a Stoic practice that illuminates the route to a better awareness of our nature and the cosmos around us in a world when distractions abound and the search for outward stimulation seems never-ending. According to Marcus Aurelius, inner reflection is a potent activity that enables us to go into the depths of our awareness and confront us with the basic facts about our existence. It is not only an exercise in introspection. Through commitment to this process, we reveal levels of comprehension that were previously obscured behind the chaotic exterior of our daily consciousness. We learn that there is a stronghold of tranquility within of us that is impervious to outside disturbances. We follow the light of reason and the need for honesty in our inner journey. We are challenged by introspection to examine not only our views and opinions, but also the reasons behind our behavior. By doing this, we start to distinguish between the transient and the permanent, between fleeting diversions and the abiding truths that give our life purpose. With this clarity, we can make decisions that are more in line with our core beliefs, which gives our lives more meaning and satisfaction. Thus, the Stoic discipline of introspection serves as a tool for empowerment. It teaches us to be active participants in life, rather than passive observers, with the ability to wisely and discernfully shape our own fate. By developing this practice, we improve our ability to feel pleasure, appreciation, and calm, no matter what is going on in the outside world. We also boost our resilience in the face of adversity. From the force of stillness to the virtue of self-sufficiency, from the importance of self-control to the practice of inner reflection, the wisdom of inner reflection is a crucial link in the chain of Stoic principles we examine. Every one of these lessons encourages us to examine ourselves, to find and value the treasures that are found in the center of who we are. Marcus Aurelius tells us that we may discover peace and clarity inside ourselves, even in the midst of turmoil. As we consider these teachings, we are thus motivated to set aside a little period of time each day for quiet reflection and introspection, to engage in the inner conversation that reconnects us with our true selves and with the deep current of life. May the insight that comes from introspection lead us to tranquility, knowledge, and insight, demonstrating to us that the greatest treasure lies not in the far reaches of the outside world, but in the uncharted territories of our own selves. Please remember to post a remark if you're finding it enjoyable, so we know you're really committed to your goal and to helping our community. Say thank you if you have nothing else to say. Let's move on to the fifth point. The significance of authenticity. The knowledge of introspection shines with a special brightness in the tapestry that our philosophies weave for us. It is an invitation to introspection extended by the philosopher-emperor Marcus Aurelius. In his Meditations, he counsels us to delve deeply into our own thoughts in order to achieve peace in this busy world, which is always trying to distract us with its many diversions. Turning inward, the Stoic discipline becomes a light leading us to real discoveries about ourselves and our role in the universe. Thus, introspection is a courageous quest for the truth, rather than just a mental exercise. We come to understand permanent truths about our existence, truths that are true despite the world's ceaseless change. When we turn within and separate from outside noise, not only can this pursuit of knowledge help us overcome obstacles, but it also paves the road for a happier, more fulfilling existence. As we continue on this path, the significance of authenticity becomes more and more apparent. Rather than giving in to the never-ending need to win over other people's acceptance, Stoic principles inspire us to strip away layers of deception and uncover our actual selves. Living genuinely means living fearlessly. It means putting one's integrity ahead of fleeting approval and refusing to put on the masks the world provides. This authenticity serves as a barrier against untruth and superficiality, enabling us to stay loyal to who we are despite life's storms trying to blow us off course. Adopting an honest lifestyle not only brings us personal peace, but also serves as a light of integrity and truth for others, encouraging them to discover their own real selves. As a result, the value of authenticity and and the knowledge of introspection blend together to create a rich fabric that envelops us in the prospect of a meaningful existence. Even though they are ancient, these Stoic ideas still hold true today, encouraging us to stop, consider our options, and decide on a more genuine and meaningful course. With the strength of self-control, the resilience of self-sufficiency, and the peace of stillness, I thus cordially welcome you to set off on this path of self-discovery. Together, may we go into the depths of our own nature and discover the pleasure, freedom, and serenity that come from leading really true lives. The calmness of acceptance comes in sixth. The peace of acceptance is one of the pearls of knowledge that Stoic philosophy bestows upon us. Accept what you cannot change. Despite its straightforward phrasing, this mantra has a great deal of depth and force. It asks us to engage in one of the most difficult but freeing practices we may experience, learning to distinguish between things that we can influence and those that need to be faced with acceptance and candor. This crucial difference encourages us to turn our attention away from externalities, such as storms and fate's whims, and toward the area in which we really have control: our own behavior, our responses, and our own perspective on life's experiences. We maximize our potential and create an environment conducive to inner calm when we focus our energies on the things we can control. Embracing life's ups and downs and the natural flow of events teaches us to ride the rivers of destiny instead of exhausting ourselves trying to swim against their currents. This acceptance is an intentional decision to accept reality as it is, discovering lessons and beauty even in the face of hardship, rather than a passive surrender. By doing this, we release ourselves from the bonds of worry and irritation, enabling a deep sense of calm to take root in our hearts. Thus, a key component of creating a well-balanced and fulfilling existence is embracing tranquility. It blends well with the disciplines of self-discipline, introspection, genuineness, and self-reliance to create a mosaic of qualities that together chart the Stoic route to a more enlightened and satisfying life. We are encouraged to consider the nature of the vessel that is ourselves, as well as the storms we encounter while traveling. By practicing acceptance as calm, we strengthen this ship's framework and enable it to sail over choppy waters with grace and resilience, always led by the steadfast light of Stoic wisdom. Thus, may the calmness of acceptance encourage us to look both within and outside of ourselves with understanding eyes and an open heart, acknowledging what we can control and peacefully accepting what is out of our hands. By doing this, we will find that genuine serenity is found in our capacity to face obstacles head-on with confidence and composure rather than in their absence. The power of resilience is the seventh. We often face circumstances that test our resilience and inner serenity as we traverse the sometimes choppy seas of life. Given this, Stoic wisdom provides us with a priceless compass to help us navigate these turbulent times by highlighting the significance of acceptance and inner fortitude as cornerstones of a contented and peaceful existence. One potent Stoic phrase that captures the calm of acceptance is "accept what you cannot change." This simple yet insightful remark challenges us to understand the essential difference between the things that we can influence and the things that are out of our hands. Accepting this difference allows us to stop exhausting ourselves attempting to change the unchangeable and focus our efforts and attention on our own behaviors and attitudes. To achieve enduring peace, a condition of tranquility that arises from not passive but conscious acceptance of the natural order of things, we must put our attention on self-management, that is, controlling our own emotions and activities. Furthermore, Stoic philosophy gives us the resilience we need to confront misfortune with bravery and dignity. The Stoics teach us that genuine inner strength comes from self-reliance and confidence in our capacity to handle obstacles by pushing us to restrict our exposure to the expectations and judgments of others. This resilience is the ability to confront pain and suffering head-on, knowing that our core is unwavering even in the face of outside adversity. It is not a denial of pain or suffering. Despite their age, these lessons are still relevant today because they provide us with the means to live a life characterized by peace and inner strength. We may not only weather life's storms more easily by cultivating acceptance and fortifying our resilience, but we can also turn into pillars of stability and calm for others around us. I so extend an invitation to every one of you to consider these Stoic ideas and apply them to your own path. May the strength of resilience and the serenity of acceptance serve as our compass, enabling us to handle any challenge life throws at us with dignity and grace. Thus, may we not only overcome misfortune, but also come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more contented. The eighth is the purpose's clarity. Clarity of purpose is a key tenet of Stoic philosophy, and it acts as a beacon for those who are looking for a meaningful life. This direction serves as a compass that keeps our focus on what really important, while guiding us through clouds of distraction and dispersion. It is not just an objective to be met. By developing a clear sense of purpose, we offer our path direction and meaning that rises beyond everyday concerns and ephemeral public opinion. In a time when excessive social media exposure and the never-ending need for outside approval may distort our perception, the Stoic discipline of avoiding needless exposure is a prudent tactic for maintaining our vitality and maintaining our focus. Consciously choosing a life of more seclusion and reflection enables us to direct our inner energies toward our actual callings and passions. This is an offer to be selective about where and how we focus our attention and energy, not a call for seclusion. It takes more than discipline to pursue our objectives with unshakable conviction. It takes a profound comprehension of our most genuine reasons. Our acts acquire power and potency that enable us to overcome apparently insurmountable hurdles when they are motivated by a clear goal. This meaning is discovered in the silence of introspection, in the hallowed place where we speak with our real selves, not in the transient praises of the outside world. Hence, having a clear sense of purpose is a lifestyle option that involves living really and purposefully rather than just as a Stoic objective. We lay the groundwork for a fulfilling and satisfying existence by being clear about our goals, our ideal selves, and the ways in which we want to influence the world. Let's then pause to consider our sense of purpose. May this contemplation help us see our genuine goals more clearly and motivate us to take bold, gutsy action. We take the first step toward leading a life that is not only worthwhile, but also leaves a legacy of integrity, passion, and resilience when we embrace the clarity of our purpose. I hope the trip is just as rewarding as the endpoint. The freedom of separation is the ninth. Two ideas stand out in the broad field of information that Stoic philosophy provides us with because they have the power to drastically alter the way we live: the freedom of detachment and the clarity of purpose. Every one of them challenges us to consider our decisions and methods for navigating life's difficulties in a unique manner. A clear sense of purpose is more than just a compass. It's the lighthouse that guides us on our trip, enabling us to see beyond transient diversions and storms. We may equip ourselves with resolute resolve that directs our activities and judgments by developing a distinct sense of purpose. This resolve motivates us to stay away from unwarranted exposure to influences that might weaken our core values and divert our focus from really important objectives. Every decision we make and every move we take is motivated by our strong sense of purpose, which demonstrates our level of dedication to our principles. However, the freedom of detachment liberates us from the bonds of fear of failing and the need for success by teaching us to let go of the links that tether us to the results of our activities. This Stoic discipline does not call for us to give up or stop caring about the results of our deeds. Rather, it empowers us to choose the correct course of action with complete integrity, understanding that although the results are significant, they are not fully within our control. This viewpoint enables us to keep our composure in the face of uncertainty and to keep moving forward while keeping our heads held high, come rain or shine. These two Stoic ideas, the freedom of detachment and clarity of purpose, when combined provide a potent foundation for living a real and meaningful life. Our passions and ideals are rekindled when we concentrate on our highest goals, and detachment allows us to move gracefully and adaptably across the sea of uncertainty. With this method, we may cultivate inner calm and true pleasure while leading more purposeful and resilient lives. May we so welcome the clarity of purpose in our lives, selecting the courses that best serve our core beliefs and guide us in the direction of development and satisfaction. And may the freedom of detachment lead us through life's ups and downs, enabling us to behave bravely and honorably without having to bear the burden of expectations or worries about the future. By incorporating these ideas into our lives, we not only walk a more meaningful road, but also encourage everyone around us to pursue a more genuine and freeing way of living. It is important to keep in mind that the road of Stoicism is not one of isolation, but rather of a deep comprehension of oneself and the environment around us as we approach the conclusion of our journey of contemplation. The principles of Stoicism do not advocate retreating from the outside world. Rather, they urge us to prepare ourselves with the knowledge and fortitude needed to confront it head-on with bravery and calm. As Epictetus once said, it is not what occurs to us that harms us, but rather how we react to it. Now that we know that our real power comes from being able to decide how to react to hardship, we are urged to turn within and tend to our inner garden, which is the place where genuine tranquility grows. Stoicism tells us that our perception of ourselves and our path may become distorted by an overabundance of exposure to criticism and other people's perspectives. As a result, we decide to live accordingly.